whenever there's a problem, there's always a solution. And again, our job is to see the problem, understand the problem, dissect the problem. But if the quicker you can get to that solution, the quicker you're going to be able to move on and just be happier. A lot of times, it's not negativity that we're no longer in kumbaya. It's just the growth and the cycles of life. And even those who understand that, they remain friends. And we are live. Hey, billionaires. How are you guys doing today? Hope everybody is having a fabulous one. So today we are doing a podcast recording. We are going live on the B Words Instagram page, where anyone who follows this page will have access to seeing the show live for now before the show actually airs. So for those of you tuning in, feel free to participate, ask some questions, and be involved in the process. So welcome to what will be you guys' third episode of the B Word, but maybe my sixth, okay? Because the technical difficulties that go on be going up. But nonetheless, the show must and will go on. So if you are tuned in, then you know that our last discussion was on self-awareness and how that works in friendships, well, all relationships, and who we're bringing with us in 2025 and who we are leaving behind. And I just wanted to piggyback off of that conversation, and then we can move on. How does that sound? Let's piggyback part 2 for the second time, and then we'll move on. All right. So I wanted everyone to ask themselves this question: what is a friend? Because I think everyone may have a different definition, and I think that's perfectly fine if you do. I think you just should be aware of what your definition of friendship is, so you will know what type of friends you need and not just find yourself in any kind of situation. So I'm gonna give y'all a great example of what I'm talking about. So I was doing some journaling a couple of weeks ago, and I was like writing my friends. I don't know. Let me not tell that story. I had already written some friends' names down who I think are my real true friends, but this was just random in my journaling. And it came to me that I may know people that are real, like not even ride or diers, that are people who are, I got your back. Like if your back is against the wall, I got your back. And those are good people to have in your corner. As I was journaling, I was realizing that I don't necessarily thrive off of I got your back type friendships, because I'm the kind of person, I go so hard. Anything can happen to anybody, but I really do try to strategically keep myself spiritually, financially, all the leads, keep myself in a place where I don't have to have my back up against the wall. So if this is the friend that I can count on when my back is against the wall, for people in my mindset is like, they don't ever get a chance to perform. They don't ever get a chance to rise to the friendship occasion of what I need. I'm more or less out of the back ain't on the wall. I keep my back off the wall, but I actually enjoy just spending time with you, that you can afford to travel with me when I want to travel. I love the fact that you run a business, or I don't run a business, but we're talking about different mom roles and things of that nature. So I said all that to say, I don't know what just happened, but my mind went completely blank. I said all that to say we got to come up with our true definitions of what friends are, because someone with their I got your back may not feel all the love from me, because I'm like, this girl don't never do nothing. This guy don't never do nothing. I've never put them in a place where they had to do something. And they're looking at me like, Blessin's never appreciative. Blessin never does this for me. And they're not wondering, we're missing each other. So I became aware of, I need to be more conscious of, yeah, I'm glad you got my back, but friends that I can just enjoy and reap the benefits of, because we're here to be useful. I want you to use me. I want to use you. And we reap the benefits going both ways, and it's not a one-way street. So I thought that was really good, that I came to that conclusion. And I think a lot of times we might come up with these textbook definitions of what things mean, and we try to get those people to fit, and that's not what you need in your life. So again, the self-awareness is you being able to say, I don't like clingy friends. I do like clingy friends. I don't like friends that do this. I do like friends that do that. But the more you get clear about who you are, what you like, what makes you thrive and not thrive, we can actually attract better friends. But not only that, we'll be a better friend. So friendship had been weighing on me it comes in spurts. It comes and goes. It comes and goes. But last year it was just like really weighing on me, and I just wanted to make some decisions about my 2025. So that's how we're starting the podcast off, just talking about the same old thing. But we're going to wrap it up here probably, and we want to get to the point of why. So the reason why I was on the very first podcast, I was like, I'm going to have this discussion on friendship, and I'm not going to have it anymore. But as I was journaling and doing the self-work, I was realizing that's why I don't technically go to therapy, because by the time I do my journaling and I do my self-work, that's why I call it TheraB, and I talk to God, I literally get the answers your therapist probably couldn't even come up with, to be honest with you. And I'm able to move forward quicker, I would say, than most. Because the thing about going through emotions is not to feel them, but if they're the emotion that is contrary to what you got going on and where you want to be, you got to learn to keep healing, but moving forward from it as fast as possible, or it's going to hold you in place. And that's the opposite of what you want. You want to move forward from the heartbreak. You want to move forward from the distrust. So you got to learn how to feel it, but also let it go. So that's the therapy I do on myself all the time. But I was trying to let it go before I felt it enough. So that's why we had to have part 2 of this conversation. And Spirit was like, there's no rush. You don't have to move on quickly if you don't want to. Everything is your decision. But do know the quicker that you move on from this, the quicker you will get to the end goal. So, and the end goal is me being a better friend, me attracting a better friends, and me improving the friendships that I do have. So just thinking about it from that perspective. And that's why we had our TheraB sessions every second Sunday of the month, where we come in and you guys can bring your questions, piggyback off of the podcast, dive deeper into the things we discuss, and really have a good conversation about it, because you need somebody that is therapeutic, godly, and unbiased. Like, I ain't judging you. I could judge you, but I know how to not judge you and just try to get real sound information in the first place. But whenever there's a problem, there's always a solution. And again, our job is to see the problem, understand the problem, dissect the problem. But the quicker you can get to that solution, the quicker you're going to be able to move on and just be happier, because we don't want to keep reliving things that don't bring joy to the table, which was the next point, reliving it. So again, it's not a bad thing that you need to therapy it out, talk it out, feel it out, but you're also reliving those emotions. And at some point, enough is enough, And again, it's not that we don't want to ever feel it, but those who are thriving in the world are those who have felt it. They it's not even gone, it's here, but they understand that the greater is on the other side. I must continue to press forward. And if greater is not on the other side, this person and I will catch up again with motion. Being in joy, being in happiness, being in positivity must continue regardless. And what does that say down there? Ooh, child. I don't even know what that word is. That is hilarious. But anyway, therapy by textbook definition, I'm going to read this to y'all, is a form of treatment that involves working with a trained professional that addresses mental health concerns, and help you improve emotional well-being and develop coping mechanisms. So nothing against therapy, nothing against therapists, but as a woman of God, I just feel like in the first place, your therapist is probably not in their word as much as they need to be, because a lot of the questions, a lot of the coping, instead of the healing journey that we should be on, are questions that are spiritual, like are questions that are personal, are questions that, I don't think they've done the work. I like to I like to think about therapists as this analogy we hear a lot in the entrepreneurship world. It's like if you want to be an entrepreneur and then you go to school for business and your professor has never made $1 million in his life, like he's teaching you the ideology of business. He's teaching you the textbook terms of business. He's teaching you how to go into business, everything but how to be profitable, how to be marketable, how to really win in life, because he's here teaching you. So it's like, sir, I have $1 billion dreams. Please tell me, have you done it before? Have you been remotely close? Are you a millionaire? Are you a thousandaire? So it was like, okay, but you're teaching me how to do business. So that's kind of how I, no shade to anyone that goes to it. I just feel like a lot of times therapy is because we don't get quiet enough on our own to hear from God. Like when you get quiet enough on your own, ask the questions directly to the source and believe you can hear back from him, you'll actually get it. And I truly believe that is how our ancestors that were not slaves, but were enslaved, got through, is because their spirituality, their mindset about God and Christ and Jesus was believers. Because what else was they going to believe in? And even though it took some time, we shouldn't even be here right now. What our people endured, we shouldn't even be here right now. But the reason we are here is because of the spirit of them using God as a counselor, of them using God as a therapist. That song, Long as I Got King Jesus. I remember having to dance to that song in church when I was a little girl, but it was like, he's a doctor when you're doctorless. He is the food when you're hungry. He's everything that you could possibly need if you go to him. So let's say God is the grocery store and you just keep passing by that grocery store. You're not going to get that. But if you go to the grocery store, he will actually help you. But yeah, so that's why a lot of us have therapy bills, because we just don't know how to go to the source. And that is very, very, very important as we navigate the tumultuousness that life often provides to us. Okay, so just tapping back into the real therapy. They know what the textbook says, but have they ever walked in your shoes before? I don't think so. And I even think like talking about relationships a lot in circles and just hearing from couples that are married or been married or want to be married or single, no one has the same story. So you really do have to tune into who you are and really focus on that, and gather with like minds, or not even like mind, gather with those that you're supposed to gather with more intentionally, but definitely taking it back to your own therapeutic roots, in my opinion, would be a great help. And if you need assistance with that, again, you ain't got to ask me twice. Every second Sunday, we do our TheraB sessions. All you got to do is click on the link down here in this description below and join. And I will see you on the second Sunday of every month. So let's keep this show going. We talked about therapists. I said therapists need a therapist. You know what I'm saying? So I like my advice coming from couples that have been married for a long time. I like my advice from couples who have messed up, because those who have messed up also know how they don't want to mess up again. So I like really, really seasoned advice, okay? Not your textbook advice. Coping. They said that the textbook definition of therapy is coping mechanisms. We're not trying to cope. We're trying to identify, heal, or eliminate. We don't need to cope. Heal or eliminate. It's what you need to do. And healing and being healed is a healing process. We just want to get better with time. And what was the last thing I said? We talked about that song too. Yeah, so just tapping back into who you really are. Who you really are is an image of God, is God's child, is a lowercase God. So our Father in heaven wants us to go to him like we do our real parents in this earth and ask for advice. And they normally really, if you got a good parent, have really great advice for you. All right, so now I was asking myself the question. I've complained about all of y'all enough, and y'all sorry ass friendship that y'all have brought to the table. The question is, how can I be a better friend? because I also believe what you attract is also, what you got going on inside of you. There's a reason. If you feel like these are bad friends or bad experiences or not qualifying experiences, what's going on inside of you that these are the type of relationships that you keep attracting? And how can I be a better friend? And when I put that question in the atmosphere, God gave me some answers. Right now in the ones that I'm shifting out of, friendship circles, I don't call people much, but I always answer my phone. So I got really comfortable with, hey, if anyone ever calls me, I'm always available. But y'all know they say out of sight, out of mind. So I'm thinking off of the strength of me always answering the phone, I am being a good friend. But the fact that I never pick up the phone to dial their number, they could be looking at me like, but Blessin doesn't ever call me. And now there's a misconception going on my side. I don't know about their side. If you or anyone you know are ever in a car accident, we do pay for those referrals per person, $200. All you got to do is call 888-7-MONEY-8 and we will get you straight and we will get you paid. So let's just say you know someone that was in a car accident and it was 4 of them in the car. That's $200, $800 that you just made. So always be on the lookout. Always get that money. But what I said all that to say, I'm looking at the role I played and why I'm getting the energy that I'm getting, and I'm being accountable for it. I don't want to just say it's all them because it's impossible. It's always you. What is you doing for them to treat you this way? Or what is it you don't know about yourself? Like there was some self-worth issues. Like I was really going around in my head about a lot of different things like, this is okay enough. Well, I can endure this. It ain't that bad. So now my brain is putting out waves and frequencies in the atmosphere for friendships that are treat her not that bad. She's not anybody's best friend, but she's on the friend list. But realistically speaking, you got top friend energy, like on the inside of you. But that means that you, Blessin, need to be more intentional with your friendships. You're just coming and going as you come and go. But if you're wanting a certain type of energy out of your friends, it starts with you. How can you be more intentional and foster the relationships? And if these friends don't work out this time, when you get another, because the cycle will keep continuing until you recognize what you doing in the cycle. How are you going to treat all of the people better? Because how you do anything is how you do everything. So it's always going back to self and reflecting. And those were just some thoughts about what I need to do to be a better friend to the ones that I might even think are not being a great friend to me, which will motivate them to be better too. So now everybody wins, or just good conversation about it all. And yeah, like I said earlier, when you define the friendships, what works for you, that is your opportunity to break the cycle if there's one that needs to be broken, and just understand that you have changed. Change is always happening. And now that you could, a lot of us just learned the word friend in kindergarten, never looked it up. We learned it in kindergarten. We just, that's my friend, that's my friend, that's my friend. And then maybe some of us have looked it up. And by definition, this person is your friend. Okay, but you done had some real life lessons. You don't walk a few miles in these shoes, and you've learned that friendship sitting on the park kikiing ain't what you need in this season of life. So just pausing to ask yourself these questions. And the reason why I paused to ask myself these questions, because I wanted to know, was friendship even a biblical necessity? Like, do we even need friends? Like, is it something we need? So that's what made me really get to the root of that question. And since I skipped there, no, I'm gonna stay on target. I'm gonna stay in my order. So, but we'll talk more about biblical principles and friendship. I do want to say shout out to my friend Sierra, who made it in my first podcast on friendship. I was like, I know my friend will watch, and if she watched this, she is going to find this so hilarious. So in the last episode, I talked about my friend Sierra, my Sagittarius twin. We grew up together, same age, same birthday, literally around the corner from the 5th grade till the time we graduated from high school. And I was doing reflecting on friendship, and it just made me think about how she was really my one true good friend, especially on the girl side. And I had one good true friend on the boy side. I never really had a lot of friends, and that's always been sufficient for me. But you gotta watch the last episode about them girls jumping me at the skating ring and my friend Sierra being MIA for the process. She watched the episode and she was like, "Oh hell no! I know you ain't gonna tell them people that story and don't give them the rest of the story. Like, let them people know within 24 hours I was at your house checking on you and we was outside. Within 24 hours, Sierra was at my house checking on me and we were outside." So I called it the Peter Pass. I was calling it a situation where you and a friend might fall out. And that's perfectly fine, y'all. You fall out with your man, you fall out with your girl, you fall out with your girlfriends, you fall out with your husbands. Y'all figure out how to fix it in most situations. The same with the Peter Pass. Peter denied Jesus 3 times, but Peter really did love Jesus. It was just a lot of heat going on. Like, you get a little scary when the police is chasing you sometimes. You don't want to go to jail. You will have to. So I called her the Peter Pass because we had that one little situation. And I just think if Peter Pass is basically grace. Not everybody deserves it, but I give it to people that I'm spoken to on the heart that deserve it. And they get 3 chances like Peter. Peter Pass 1, Peter Pass 2, or Peter Pass 3 ready to come to your senses that we're going to have to fight. So anyway, my best friend, still a great friend of mine to this day. From that point, that's how you learn who to give second chances to, who to not give second chances to. Hello there, King. And so patterns, you want to pay attention to people's patterns, behaviors, because everybody can mess up, but messing up repeatedly is a pattern. And that's what you want to be aware of and paying close attention to. But yeah, after those girls jumped me, this is something I want to say. I don't think I mentioned it on the last podcast. Or maybe I did. But I never wanted revenge. I never wanted to fight those girls. I never wanted to jump those girls. I just knew that God was gonna whoop their ass for me. Like, I just always knew that I was gonna grow up and be somebody. I don't know what they thought, but I knew I had places to go, people to see, and things to do, and I wasn't about to let nobody jeopardize that. So I never wanted to fight them. Whatever God was gonna do with them, I knew for sure he was gonna handle that. But one thing I did do, because those girls lived in my neighborhood, I had a stick that was about this long, had carved my name in it, and my mom got me some mace. Because y'all ain't gonna have me scared in the house. Every single time I dotted my door and me and my homegirl was outside, I had my stick and I had my mace. And look, I don't, no problems. Y'all won. It's all good. But do know, if you run up on me again, it won't be like it was the first time. Because if you run up on me again, I'm gonna knock your head off with this stick. So I never, I got jumped in the 7th grade. I probably carried that stick around till I was in the 10th grade for real. Catch me slipping, you won't do. Fool me once, shame on me. You fool me twice, shame on me. So I stayed ready. And most of my friends know to this day, you stay ready so you don't got to get ready. I couldn't have no pistol at that age, so I had to use what I had or what I got. But I just thank God that I always was so self-aware that I even knew as a young child that I'm not going down for the girls who don't think highly of themselves. They used to say that you think you all that. I'm like, of course I do. If I don't think I'm all of that, you're clearly telling me that you don't think I'm all of that. Who is going to be responsible to think it for me? Somebody got to believe in me. That is me. And I ain't even as all that as I want to be. There's so much more that I can be all that about. Don't you want to be all about something else? What's the problem? Let's continue to blossom. Let's continue to be all of that. And a bag of chips. I don't get, what you trying to say? I'm confused. So yeah, just knowing who you are takes you a very, very long way. And then I always hear people talk about their A1s from day one or their day twos. I just want to say, seasons and reasons. Even my good friend, Sierra, we've been friends since the 5th grade, still friends to this day. But and even my guy friend, who was my guy friend, when they got married, we just didn't talk the same. It's not because we're not friends anymore. It's just because we live in 2 different lives. The conversations have changed. The experiences have changed. So a lot of times it's not negativity that we're no longer in kumbaya. It's just the growth and the cycles of life. And even those who understand that, they remain friends. So sometimes those did too happen, because let's say I get married tomorrow. Now I'm more attracted to having friends that are also married. So now I haven't known you since I've known my fifth grade friend, but I built a relationship with you. So I just had all that to say. I don't believe in day one or day two. I believe in always flowing, always pruning, and always adding. Like always, you might even double back on some friends with the Peter pass, but just learning who you are so you can learn which ones are worth that, which ones deserve that, so we don't waste our time unnecessarily. Forgiving versus forgetting. Listen, everybody is forgetting. So y'all ain't like to hold me up from getting into heaven, because God said if I don't forgive my brother and sister, ain't no way I'm gonna be able to make it. So for the ones who have jumped me, for the ones who have robbed me, from the ones who have talked about me, for the ones who I don't even know about, I bless y'all on your journey. May God do whatever he's going to do for you, to you, with you, through you, because the more love that I put out is the principle, the more love I can get back. So me hating on you is just bringing more hate to me. And I love myself too much to ever bring hate my way. So you're not that expensive enough for me to even want to throw anything negative to you, baby, because anything I throw at you, you literally are rubber and you're going to bounce it back to me. So that's why I always stay on the right side of the equation. Like I'm never going to start nothing with nobody, but I would finish a lot of things. But I definitely do my best to not be a starter because I don't really want that energy back. And I can say because I don't like fighting and I don't like disagreements and I don't like stuff that you can tell energies like that's going to lead you down certain paths. Just say no. My ability to just say no has always been very high. Yeah. And then to speak up or not to speak up, I'm usually the friend who doesn't speak up much. Like I usually just take what you throw at me until one day you just threw your last shot and I can't take it no more. And so, and I call that being the bigger person, but I do believe in this new season, I don't want to be the role of the bigger person. I do want to communicate more effectively and not assume, because everyone has one. And a lot of times we come to the wrong conclusions. But once we have the conversation and there's no change behavior, then I got concrete evidence that you're just acting the fool because you want to act the fool instead of my assumption. So going forward, I do want to not be the disappearing friend. Y'all know that meme where the person just keep backing up and the next thing you know, they're like in the bushes, literally. That's me. You tried me one too many times, I would disappear. But I definitely, before we even get to the one too many times, the one or two times that I let slide in the past, I'm not let sliding anymore. I'm bringing it to your attention. Hey, so I don't have to disappear from you. I just want to run this by you. Am I understanding this correctly? Tell me your thought process on this, because right now I see you as a friend and I really desire not to lose anymore, but I could. But forgive me for that last line. I really desire not to lose anymore. So let's talk about this. And then from there, you make your decisions. Yes. And we're going to wrap up with our friendship talk by just mentioning that God does advocate friendship, because I was trying to find scripture saying that he don't think we need friends, because that's how crazy I am. But we do. We need camaraderie. We need like minds. We need to feed off of each other. We need energy. And I was just looking through the Bible for some examples of friendships, and I even Googled it. And the first friendship ever in the Bible, they referenced that to Adam and Eve. And I've read that part of the Bible recently, and I guess they were friends. I can't really see where, because the way they write about Adam and Eve, they'd mess it up so quick. Like God gives us everything. Within 2 chapters, Adam and Eve done messed up everything. So I can't even see. It seemed like they was just bickering the whole time for me, because how you mess up paradise in the first 2 chapters? Who does that? Adam and Eve. Let me not go there. I was about to say I don't want that kind of friendship. But according to Google, Adam and Eve were the first friends in the Bible. And I guess as husband and wife, I would hope they were some friends. But I'm just saying the Bible don't really break it down, in my opinion, how they were friends. But one story that I really do like is the story of Mary and Elizabeth. And this is when Mary, the mother of Jesus, she goes to visit her cousin Elizabeth. And because their energy is so spiritual and it's so positive, like Elizabeth literally leaps with joy from hugging Mary. Like they can feel the spirit, they can feel the babies within them. Like I just enjoyed that she had that female companion, that they can communicate with each other. They inspired each other. They impregnated each other, because impregnating means also metaphorically, biblically, like coming up with dreams that you want to birth into reality. And the fact that they had those type of energies, I thought that was a good example of friendship. Another one now, Sarah and Abraham, Abraham and Sarah, they are husband and wife. They are Bunny and Clyde. Like that's the kind of energy I be on. I don't know if they got more chapters about them, but they be outside. So when God gave Abraham all the promises of all the things that he was going to get, Sarah had to be a ride or die, because they would have gotten it, but the way God had them getting it, Sarah was definitely Bonnie. Like Abraham literally had to get, I don't want to ever have to go this far, but the mindset, like how far it went. Like Abraham and Sarah, they approached a part of town that was like, look, they're going to kill me if they think you and I are husband and wife. So when we get here, I need you to say, I am your brother. I need you to go sleep with Pharaoh, marry him, whatever it is y'all need to do. But I'm going to be over here collecting all the coins, collecting all the land, getting all the inheritance that God told me we're going to get. And then it's going to be time to go. And Sarah was like, okay, cool. So I love that energy. So I hope my husband never needs me to go that far. But the fact that that is Bible, and that's how far they had to go with the word of God that was given to them. I mean, that was the original Bunny and Clyde. I'm here for that energy. And the last example I want to give is the example of the man who was, I forgot what his actual disability was, but Jesus was in town, so we outside, about to go roll up on Jesus, and he couldn't walk. So they believe. Oh, I love friends that believe. So this man, whatever his ailment was, he had friends that were also believers, and they knew they were able to get this man to see Jesus, that their friend would be healed. So they got there, and the place was just too crowded. Like there was no way the friends or the man was going to be able to get up close to Jesus so Jesus can put his hands on them and heal him. And so they end up climbing the top of this building. However they did that, they end up putting a hole in the roof. However they did that. And then they end up lowering the man in front of the crowd, in front of Jesus. First of all, I'm not sick. Let's say I'm one of the homies. I'm not sick. I don't need to be healed. There's so many friends that would have took us to the place. And once we saw we couldn't get to Jesus, like, all right, I did my part. But the fact that the extra mile that his friends went to ensure that he was able to see Jesus, first of all, I want to commend their camaraderie. I want to commend the fact that each one of them really are believers, because you are the company you keep. Because if you got a person in your crew that think you can't get healed, they're not going to help lift you. They already don't believe. And I also want to think that the guy who they were carrying had to look out for them in the past, because there's no way we're carrying this man up in most situations, and we haven't been shown that this man would have done the same for us. So yeah, I really enjoyed that example, because for me, friendship is friendship is I can depend on you, not just when my back is against the wall, but when I can just depend on you. You're a dependable person in general. And I think those are good examples of what those things involve. Yeah. So that is wrapping up our conversation on friendship. I do believe so for the most part. If anything comes up, I'll be sure to let you know. Or we can definitely talk about it in our TheraB sessions every second Sunday at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time in my private community. The link is going to be below on YouTube. If you are watching live, hi, thank you for tuning in. You get to enjoy the episode first, and then I will upload it to YouTube. Also, because this is going on YouTube, if you or anyone you know are ever in a car accident, we do pay for those referrals per person, $200. All you got to do is call 888-7-MONEY-8 and we will get you straight and we will get you paid. So let's just say you know someone that was in a car accident and it was 4 of them in the car. That's $800 that you just made. So always be on the lookout. Always get that money. All right, back to the episode. So we're going to wrap up here, I believe. So I had a couple of questions y'all can think about, go over on your own. Is how improving your relationship with yourself will help you improve your relationship with others. I normally sit on this side, but think about how improving your relationship with yourself will help you improve your relationships with others. So consider that, because it all starts with you. Sometimes it's not them, it's just God. Listen, I don't know why we can't be on the same page no more. It's not even anything we can pinpoint, but let's just trust the energy that in this season, this ain't it. And I still love you with love. And I think that's the next point. I wrote that somewhere on here. I don't see it because I should have said that by now. But learn how to detach with love. So many people are detaching in his animosity or hate or whatever the case may be. Like, I love you. Keep sending those love. Love is the greatest gift frequency of them all. It costs you nothing to love somebody. It costs you nothing to wish well on someone, because whatever you put out, you are getting back. So we're learning, if we must detach, we're detaching in love. Oh, there it is right there. Seasons and reasons, we talked about that. Sometimes it's just not the season. We might even circle back around next summer, because you're my summer bae. But in the winter, in the spring, it's his time. I'm just playing. All right. So what delights you about friendship? Delight, I know that's such a like word, but decide, what you like about friendships, decide what you don't like about friendships. And this was a really good question. Where did I get these values from? Like, why do I believe this makes a good friend? Why do I believe that makes a bad friend? And where did I get these values from? And should I be changing them up? Like, I came up with this. I don't know if y'all ever saw Inside Out. It is a kid movie. I always talk about it almost probably in every podcast, but go watch it. So a lot of these core memories, a lot of these core character development systems we have within us, we created when we were 12 years old. It's time for a new way to cipher what friendship is. We can't keep holding on to what Blessin thought friendship was, and when she was 12, but you never thought about it again. You never considered to even ask yourself these questions again. And now you're 38-year-old Blessin trying to be moving like a 12-year-old Blessin in your friendship department. So it's good to pause, journal, and figure those things out. All righty. And last but not least, I was trying to figure out how to segment this show, but we ain't doing all that. I'm going to just say what I got to say, and we're just going to keep it moving until we do something different. So I also want to talk about trading, and I also want to talk about traveling a lot on the podcast this year. My goal for the year is to do 12 trips, 12 million from trading, 12 trips, a trip each month, and just trading in general, old ways, habits and routines for new ways, habits and routines. Trading is what we're doing. Decision-making, trading, better for leaving good, worse, good, better. If it was better, we're going to our best. Like, we're trading it all out. And so trip number 1 is complete for January. We went to Barbados. So what am I talking about? Barbados. Okay. Barbados. To me, I don't think enough people talk about Barbados. Like, for the Caribbeans, like, I don't hear it a lot, but I'm so glad that I went. I got a phone call from my cousin in December when I was in Japan, which I should talk about that trip too, with my son for his birthday, going to Disney Tokyo. He calls me randomly. He's like, cousin, did you know we are related to the Fenties from Barbados? Like, you're literally related to Rihanna. We was just looking at y'all picture, talking about how y'all kind of look alike. I'm like, I always heard we favor, but I didn't know. I'm trying to figure out where I'm from Africa. So this is news to me. So when he gave me that information, hey sister, when he gave me that information, I was like, shoot, I'm trying to figure out where to go for January. Let me go to Barbados. So I ended up going to Barbados, y'all. The the temperature, and it's only January, like perfection. It is like 80 degrees, so it's not too hot. Um, Windy, but not too windy. Sometimes in the morning it'd be howling. Like we would have the balcony door open, and the wind would just be howling like a wolf. Literally, it was blowing so hard. But in the daytime, it's just very peaceful. The island itself, I can see if you go to Barbados once or twice, and you don't have heritage or family or friends or something there, I can see where you wouldn't continue to keep going back, because the whole island itself is about 4 hours, so you can see a lot of it in one trip. But the people, very, very nice. 'Cause I was in Jamaica in October, and I was telling my homegirl how I felt like the one love was losing the love. I'm like, everybody's acting not mean, but just very not helpful. Like, where is the love? Barbados had the love. So we spent lots of time on the beach. We stayed at the Wyndham Hotel. That was nice. It's a fairly new hotel. I'll stay somewhere else next time that's like literally on the calmer, beautiful side of the beach, because we were on the beach, but the rockier, very wavy side. But yeah, all in all, I think it's definitely 10 out of 10, and you guys should visit. I had a chance to stop by Rihanna's house. That was cool too. And yeah, we got 11 more places to go. I'm gonna just go ahead and claim it. Africa in February. Africa in February is done. Africa in February. I'm going to Africa in February. And I'll let y'all know about that. But one of the reasons that I'm doing a lot of traveling is I don't have a desire to live in America whatsoever. By the time that my son is 10, we will make a full exit. So I am going country hopping to see where I want home to be. And it may not even be my forever home. As I'm reading the Bible, I'm reminded that God gave us dominion over everything. And I think that they have done a good job of programming us to want to stay very local. Like if I want to put race into it, if we don't even talk about Africa being first, slavery, none of that. If I just think about it, like, why do I want to live in Georgia forever? Why do I want to stay in the United States forever? There's a whole world out there to see. Let's go see it. So that's really my mindset on it. Now, living in America, I think we've made lots of improvements since slavery. I think we've made lots of improvements since MLK, but I don't think we made enough improvement. And I am really tired of asking the oppressor to stop oppressing me. I mean, y'all can, but I'm not posting another Trayvon Martin. I'm not posting another Sandra Bland. I'm not posting none of that shit. I'm getting out of the country, because why are we here? So when it was election season, my older cousin, I don't think she's quite 70, but she's probably late 50s. And we were talking about voting, and I'm just like, I don't really care per se, and I don't want to make this a political show. Do what you will, what you want to do. But she was doubling down on me like, but this is your home. This is your home. Don't you want to have a voice at home? I said, this is not my home. You don't even know what home is. That's the whole point I'm trying to make. Like, I'm not originally from the United States of America. I'm from Africa. Have you been home? Do you want to go home? Do you know what home is? I want to know what home is. I don't want to be told what home is. I want to experience what home is. And this ain't home. That's all I can say. When my son can go outside and I ain't got to worry about him being treated any differently from a Caucasian man in America, I might consider this a nice place to live, but it still ain't home. But right now, I'm about to go. If this is what we got going on in America, that's cool. I just want to see what other countries have going on, because that's another pushback I hear. Well, whatever country you go to is going to be something. It sure is. But I also know America does a good job with propaganda and making us seem like we're the best, and we're not. So I'm going to go be the new Christopher Columbus. Call me Columbus. And I'm going to go explore the world. and I'm coming back. I am coming back. Y'all can get on YouTube, see where I'm at, and decide if you want to explore the world too, or be stuck and stagnant and bored in America for the rest of your lives. That's up to you. And yes, guys, that's how I'm going to wrap up my show. So I will keep y'all in the loop with my trading and my traveling. Yeah, on average, I got to do at least 1 million a month. I got to do 1 million a month to do 12 million this year. So yeah, the next podcast, we'll talk numbers about that. And this podcast is about traveling. And I think my next therapy session, I need to look at the calendar, is the 4th Sunday of this month. We'll be talking about stocks and cryptos and investing. So feel free to join the community. The link will be below on YouTube. We will have those discussions because, yeah, y'all need to be very focused on your coins with the blessing of Donald Trump being in office financially. He's a financial blessing to us. So we got to take what we can when we can. If this is what we got to make the best of it. Okay, so keep in mind all those things. It's been very nice chatting with you guys. Today, the beat is for brains. These sweatshirts are also available unofficially. DM me and I'll let you know. But there's 7 B attitudes. It's Bible, brains, body, balls, blessed, baptized. Those are the B's that I live by. Those are the B's that made me the B that I am today. And I'm just here to share that B word with you. Until next time, billionaires. Peace. If you or anyone you know are ever in a car accident, we do pay for those referrals per person, $200. All you have to do is call 888-7-MONEY-8 and we will get you straight and we will get you paid. So let's just say you know someone that was in a car accident and it was 4 of them in the car. That's $200, $400, $600, $800 that you just made. So always be on the lookout. Always get that money.